The Galactic Station's canteen fell silent, utensil by utensil, as 300 pairs of eyes, some compound, some crystalline, some that perceived in spectrums humans couldn't name, fixed on the corner table. Eden sat cross-legged on the reinforced bench, a position that made the Valorian security chief visibly uncomfortable. Humans had too many joints that bent in too many directions, but that wasn't why everyone was staring. They were staring because of the cubs. 2 Crixian younglings barely past their first molt, huddled against Eden's sides. Their obsidian carapaces still bore the dull sheen of youth, and their mandibles clicked softly, the sound Crixian young made when distressed. Eden held a standard-issue nutrition pack in one hand, carefully portioning out small pieces of the protein bar within. "There we go," Eden murmured, voice low and steady. "Just like that. You're doing great." The smaller cub took the offered piece with trembling chelicerae, its entire body quivering. Rauk stood frozen at the canteen entrance, his crest flattened against his skull in a Valorian expression of pure shock. As station commander, he'd seen humans do many inexplicable things over the past cycle. They touched hot surfaces to test them. They rushed toward danger instead of away from it. They consumed liquids that were technically toxic for recreation. But this was something else entirely. "Someone should stop this," hissed a Centauri merchant at a nearby table. "Crixians are apex predators. Even the young are dangerous." "The human doesn't know," added her companion. "Someone tell it before—" "Eden knows," Rock found himself saying, his voice carrying across the silent canteen. He moved closer, each step deliberate. The human always knows. He'd seen Eden's personnel file. Former emergency response specialist, civilian evacuation expert. 3 commendations for entering collapse zones when every other species' instincts screamed to flee. Humans had a word for what Eden did: stupid bravery. Except it wasn't stupidity, and Rock was beginning to understand that. The larger cub made a sound, a high-pitched keen that sent several nearby patrons scrambling backward. It was the sound of Crixian juveniles in full distress, the sound that usually preceded a berserker rage that could tear through hull plating. Eden didn't flinch. Instead, the human shifted slightly, making space. "Hey, it's okay. I know you're scared. Your mom's coming back. I promise she's coming back." Rauk's translator struggled with the word mom, offering 3 different Valorian approximations before settling on primary progenitor unit. It didn't capture whatever emotion the human was conveying. "What happened?" Rauk asked quietly, approaching slowly. Eden glanced up, and Rauk saw something in those strange, forward-facing predator eyes, the same eyes that marked humans as hunters on their death world of origin. But there was no hunt in that gaze. Only concern. "Dock mishap," Eden explained. "Their mother's ship took damage during coupling. She's in medical, critical but stable. The cubs were alone in the cargo hold when I found them. Security was going to sedate them and put them in containment." "That's protocol," Rauk said carefully. "Unaccompanied Crixian young are classified as—" "They're scared children," Eden interrupted, voice flat. "And sedation can be dangerous for juveniles during molt. It's in your own xenobiology database. Did anyone actually check?" Rauk's crest rose slightly. No one had checked, because no one got close enough to Crixian young to need to check. Their mother's pheromones would normally keep them calm, but separated and stressed. The cubs were essentially armed bombs of chitin and rage. "How did you—" Rauk gestured at the improbable scene. Eden shrugged. That peculiarly human gesture that could mean anything. Sat down. "Talk to them. They're kids. Scared kids respond to calm regardless of species. They could have killed you," said a Threll observer, tentacles coiled tight. "Crixian juveniles have 14 recorded kills of adult sentience." "So do human juveniles," Eden replied without looking up, offering another piece of food to the smaller cub. "If you count vehicular accidents and experimental chemistry sets, the numbers aren't the point." The smaller cub's mandibles had stopped clicking. It was eating steadily now, pressed against Eden's side. The larger one still keened, but softer, less panicked. "The point," Eden continued, "is that they're babies, away from their mom, in pain from molting, probably hungry, definitely terrified. And everyone here is treating them like monsters instead of what they are." "And what are they?" Rauk asked. Eden looked up at him, and Rauk saw something that made his combat-trained instincts suddenly scream. "Not danger from the human, Danger for anything that might threaten what the human was protecting. Someone's kids, Eden said simply. The larger cub's keen, hitched, broke. It turned its great faceted eyes toward Eden, mandibles spreading in what every species in the canteen recognized as an attack posture. No one breathed. Eden held perfectly still, that same calm emanating like a field effect. I know, the human said softly. I know it hurts, but you're safe. I've got you. The cub's mandibles trembled, then slowly it folded them, leaned into Eden's other side, and began to eat. The canteen erupted in a chaos of clicking, chirping, and vocalizations across a dozen languages. Rauk's translator caught fragments. Impossible. Death world insanity. How is the human still alive? But one phrase cut through the noise, from a Crixian dock worker whose crest bore the scars of military service. That's a human for you. They pack bond with anything. Rauk watched Eden sit there, calmly feeding two of the galaxy's most dangerous juveniles, and understood something new about the species that had emerged from Earth's endless catastrophes. Humans didn't just survive. They protected. They nurtured. They saw children where others saw threats. It was insane. It was reckless. It was completely, utterly human. Eden, Rauk said finally. When the mother recovers, you will need to explain this to her. Eden smiled. That expression that showed too many teeth but somehow wasn't threatening when humans did it. Looking forward to it. Someone needs to teach station security the difference between dangerous and scared. Rauk's crest flattened in resignation. The human was right, of course, they usually were about the strangest things.